Let me guess. You are Googling, am I going crazy at 2 a.m.? You can't remember your client's name. Mid-session, you used to be able to see 6 clients back to back. Now, after 3, you feel like you've been hit by a truck. And everyone's telling you it's either burnout, you just need better boundaries, or it's perimenopause. Welcome to getting older. But what if it is both? And what if they're feeding each other in this vicious cycle that's making everything worse? I'm Helen Malinowski, and I specialize in nervous system regulation for clinicians. And I'm living this transition right now. I'm about to turn 45. I run a 7-figure therapy practice. So, what I'm about to share with you isn't theory, it's what's actually happening in your body. Why no one warned you about this, and how to rebuild without waiting until you completely fall apart. So here's what nobody tells you. The same system in your body is trying to manage both your stress response and the massive hormonal shifts of perimenopause. It's your HPA axis or your hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. And when you're already burned out, that system is already breaking down. And for those of us doing clinical work, we're not just managing our own stress, we're regulating our nervous system while holding space for our clients' dysregulation all day long. Every session, you're co-regulating with someone who's activated, and that compounds everything. There's research showing that women with high stress levels enter menopause nearly 2 years earlier than women with lower stress. Your body's basically saying, we don't have the resources for this right now. We are in survival mode. And here's where it gets confusing, because the symptoms look identical. You're exhausted. Your sleep is a mess. You can't think straight. Your mood is all over the place. You have zero tolerance for stress. Is that burnout? Is that perimenopause? Yes, it's both. And good luck figuring out which symptom belongs to which problem. But here's what I see from the nervous system perspective. When your nervous system is dysregulated, it makes every menopausal symptom worse. Hot flashes, those aren't random. Notice how they spike when you're stressed? That's your nervous system responding to activation. Temperature regulation goes out the window when you are in fight or flight. Sleep, can't fall asleep because your system won't downregulate. Or you wake up at 3 a.m., which, by the way, is classic cortisol dysregulation. And now you're laying there anxious about being awake, which activates you even more, which keeps you awake longer. It's a nightmare cycle. And your emotional regulation, when you're exhausted and anxious and your nervous system is screaming, you don't have access to your prefrontal cortex. You know that moment when a client is talking and you suddenly realize you have no idea what they just said? That's not you being a bad therapist. That is your brain literally going offline. Studies show that when you're dysregulated, you can't access good judgment. You can't problem solve. You can't make decisions in the way that you normally would. Pain, when your nervous system is activated, your body constricts. Muscles tighten, blood vessels constrict, fascia gets rigid. That creates pain. And then the pain signals danger to your nervous system, which creates more activation, more constriction, more pain. That chronic neck tension, that headache that won't go away, that's not just aging, it's your nervous system stuck in protection mode. And here's the thing, this isn't a straight line. It's more like a knotted ball of yarn. You pull one string and everything shifts. Hot flashes wreck your sleep, which tanks your mood, which kills your concentration, which spikes your stress, which triggers more hot flashes. You can't just fix one piece. And it goes both ways. Declining estrogen makes your nervous system more vulnerable to stress. Estrogen is neuroprotective. It helps with resilience, mood regulation, cognitive function. When it drops, your system can't handle what it used to. Even things that used to help, even things that used to help stop working. There goes my brain. That glass of wine that used to help you unwind, now you're waking up at 3 a.m. anxious and wired. Your body's relationship with alcohol changes during this transition. What used to settle you now activates you. So if you're already burnt out, going into perimenopause, you're trying to navigate a massive transition with a system that's already breaking down. It's like trying to drive through a storm when your car is already falling apart. Does that sound familiar? Now, if you're hearing this and thinking, great, great, I'm screwed, stay with me, because here is where it gets interesting. Your capacity is genuinely changing. And that's not failure. That is biology giving you information. Here's something I've noticed, and I don't know if it's hormonal or just life experience, but somewhere in perimenopause, you stop caring as much about what other people think. That need to people please, to accommodate everyone, to make everything nice and smooth, it just evaporates. And honestly, it's a beautiful freedom. Maybe that's exactly what you need to finally start honoring your actual capacity instead of what you think you should be able to handle. Because here is what's actually happening. Your energy production is changing. Estrogen supports mitochondrial function. It helps your cells make energy efficiently. When estrogen declines, you literally have less cellular energy available. This isn't I'm lazy or I'm getting old. It's biochemistry. You have less fuel. Recovery takes longer. Research shows that as we age and hormones shift, we need more time to bounce back from stress, physical and psychological. That 24-hour turnaround you had in your 30s, that might be 48 to 72 hours now. You are still capable, you just need more recovery time between challenges. Also, your stress response is different. Studies show cortisol takes longer to come back down as you age. You can still handle stress, but you need to design your life around longer recovery periods. Your sleep architecture changes. Even without hormones, sleep changes with age. Add perimenopause on top of that, and you're working with different sleep capacity. That's not something to fix, it's something to design around. Here's what most women miss. You are trying to maintain your 35-year-old capacity at 50. That's like trying to run your practice on last year's budget when everything costs more now. The numbers changed, the context changed. So the question isn't, how do I get back to where I was? The question is, what's my actual capacity now? And how do I build something sustainable with that? This is the first piece of my somatic leverage system, asking, what does my nervous system have actual capacity for? Not what you think you should handle, not what you could do 5 years ago, what is true right now. This might mean fewer clients, but charging what they're actually worth. A completely different practice model that doesn't drain you. A schedule with actual space between sessions. Delegating the admin work that's sucking your soul. Saying no to referrals that used to be automatic yeses. And here is what's wild. When you actually honor your capacity instead of overriding it, you often end up more productive because you're not spending half of your energy recovering from constantly exceeding your limits. Now, I know what you're thinking. So, I just have to accept less. No. And this is the trap that keeps women stuck, that keeps us stuck. This isn't about accepting less. This is about being smarter so that you can sustain more of what actually matters. Let me tell you what happened with my practice. When I was at peak burnout, I was seeing 30 plus clients per week and completely ignoring what my body was telling me. The revenue was good, I was making money, but I was destroying myself, my health, my marriage. I had zero energy for anything else. The practice was consuming everything. After I built using nervous system principles, well, Kairos Counselings now has almost 30 clinicians and it generates 7 figures annually. And yeah, I still wake up at 3 a.m. sometimes. I'm pretty sure that's perimenopause, but the difference is the stress around the practice isn't there. When I wake up now, I'm not anxious about the business. I'm able to be present. I can take time off without panic about my income. And it's sustainable. I'm not white knuckling through every day, counting down to retirement. Did I accept less? No. I built more impact, more revenue, more life. But I did it by honoring capacity instead of bulldozing through it. Here's what research on sustainable performance shows. Recovery enables productivity. Studies show that psychological detachment from work during off hours predicts better performance, not worse. Your brain needs downtime to consolidate, to solve problems, and to restore energy. Strategic rest beats grinding. Research on elite performers, athletes, musicians, chess players, shows the best performers aren't practicing more hours. They're going hard for shorter periods with complete recovery, and they outperform the people grinding all day. Sustainability enables longevity. If you burn out at 50 and quit, you just lost 20 plus years of potential impact and income. If you built sustainably, you can work as long as you want with consistent energy. Think about it. Would you rather run at 100% capacity for 3 years and burn out, or run at 70% sustainable capacity for 20 years? The second option gives you 14 years of productive work. That's not accepting less. That is playing the long game. So accepting less would be scaling back on your impact, lowering your income, settling for work that doesn't fulfill you, giving up on what you actually care about, while building smarter means the same or greater clinical impact with less personal depletion, higher value work with clients who are actually the right fit. Leverage through teams, systems, and processes. Practice models that scale without consuming you. Energy for life outside of your clinical work. So, if you're thinking, okay, Helen, this makes sense, but what do I actually do? Here are the 5 steps. Before I get to that, I want to share the good news. This is actually the perfect time in your life to rebuild. Why? Because your body is forcing you to listen. In your 30s, you could override your body's signals. You could push through. Perimenopause and menopause are your body saying, yeah, we're done with that. You're going to pay attention now. Hot flashes when you're stressed, that is immediate biofeedback. Can't sleep after a difficult session, your body is showing you the cost of dysregulation. Brain fog when you're overbooked, that's not failure, that's information. This life stage makes the invisible visible. And yes, it's frustrating, but it's also a gift because now you can't ignore what needs to change. Research shows that women who make lifestyle changes during perimenopause, stress reduction, movement, sleep prioritization, have significantly better outcomes, less severe symptoms, better quality of life, lower chronic disease risk. The changes you make now set your trajectory for the next 30 years. So here's how to rebuild. Number one, start with nervous system regulation first, hormones second. A lot of women jump straight to HRT or supplements, and those can absolutely help. But if your nervous system is dysregulated, you won't get the full benefit. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in it. Start with basic nervous system regulation. Breath work, especially extended exhale to activate your parasympathetic system. Somatic tracking, learning to actually read what your body is telling you. Real recovery time between sessions, not just rushing from one thing to the next. Sleep as non-negotiable, not something you squeeze in when you can. Number two, redesign your practice structure for actual capacity. Don't maintain your old caseload with diminished capacity. That is the recipe for more burnout. Ask yourself, what's my actual energy capacity right now? Not what I wish it was, what's real? What clinical activities restore me versus deplete me? And how do I know that in my body? Where can I build in recovery time between sessions? What can I delegate, automate, or eliminate from my operations? What practice model would work with my current capacity instead of against it? Number three, use your symptoms as a dashboard. This is where it gets practical. Your body is giving you real-time feedback, so use it. Hot flashes? Check your stress load that day. Can't sleep? What happened in the last 12 hours? Brain fog, are you pushing past your capacity? Stop treating symptoms as problems to fix and start treating them as information. Build at a pace your nervous system can integrate. This is the titration principle from trauma work applied to your life. You don't rebuild everything at once. You make one sustainable change, let your nervous system integrate it, and then add the next. I know you want to overhaul everything immediately. High achiever tendency, I get it. But that just activates your system more. Instead, one change, fully integrated, then the next. Number five, recognize this as a developmental stage, not a decline. Here's what the research actually shows. Many women hit their stride in their 50s and beyond when they stop proving themselves and start leading from integrated wisdom. Studies show emotional regulation, social intelligence, and accumulated judgment actually improve with age. You have clinical wisdom now that you didn't have at 30 or 35. The question is, are you building a practice that leverages those gifts? Or are you still trying to operate like you did 15 years ago? The bottom line is this: perimenopause and menopause aren't obstacles to rebuilding. They are the catalyst. Your body is forcing you to build something sustainable. That might feel like a crisis right now, but it's actually an opportunity to create something better than what you had before. And here's what I see over and over. Clinicians who do this work in their 50s often build their most successful, fulfilling, and sustainable practices, not despite the transition, but because of it. When you address nervous system regulation, which is my whole thing, many symptoms improve because you're no longer compounding hormonal changes with chronic stress activation. So if this landed for you and you're a clinician who wants support building a sustainable practice that works with your nervous system instead of against it, check out my Catalyst Collective program in the description below. It's designed specifically for established clinicians who want to grow without burning out. Or book a strategy session. The link is in the description. Drop a comment and let me know, What part of this resonated the most? And thanks for watching. Remember, this isn't about accepting less. It's about building smarter for the long game.